Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Kim Clausen, Chief Bloomington Police Department. We are going to have a couple of people here available for questions, and I first would like to introduce Chief Booker Hodges.
I really wish we didn't have to be here today. At 16:15 hours, one of our officers here with the Bloomington Police Department heard shots fired near the Nike store here at the Mall of America. Our officers were on the scene within 30 seconds. After reviewing video, we observed two groups get into some type of altercation at the cash register in the Nike store. One of the groups left after the altercation, but instead of walking away, they decided to demonstrate a complete lack of respect for human life. They decided to fire multiple rounds into a store with people. Fortunately, at this time, it doesn't appear that anyone was injured. After firing the rounds, the suspects, or the individuals that committed this act, fled the scene. Our officers responded to a different location, which we believe that the suspects or the individuals who committed this act may have been. We did not locate them there at this time. I just want to say to those who committed this act, please turn yourself in. Please turn yourself in. But should you choose not to, our officers, our partners, our detectives will not stop until we lock you up. We cannot continue to have this disregard for human life. Lastly, this is an isolated incident. We don't believe that there is a danger to the public at this time. We're asking if anybody has any information, please give us a call at the Bloomington Police Department, 952-567-4900. Again, 952-567-4900. Our officers, our detectives, and our partners are continuing to look for the individuals that committed this act, again, that had blatant disrespect for human life. So with that, I will take some questions.
Chief, how many folks are you looking for right now?
Two.
Do each of them have weapons? You know, is it multiple weapons or just one?
Right now, preliminary, it just appears one person had a weapon.
So
one person fired.
One group fires shots to another group. There's no shots fired back.
There was no shots fired back.
Do you have any idea how many people were in the store at the time?
No. No, I don't.
Did it happen? I know this is a little bit technical, but did it happen in the front of the store? You said that they got the altercation at the cash register. Was it right outside the front of the store?
So they got into an altercation inside the store by the cash register, and at which point one group left, and then an individual and another individual decided to return to the entrance of the store and fire off rounds into the store that was full of people.
Chief, when you talk about two groups, how large a groups are we talking about?
I haven't fully reviewed the video yet, so we can get you those numbers at a different time. But right now, it still is an active criminal investigation, so I'm kind of limited in what I can say. And I understand people want to know information, but I'm going to give you as much as I can.
This is the largest mall in the United States. Tons of people visit this mall every day. How can you ensure that people coming to this mall are safe, especially when we're seeing the crime rates that we're seeing in Minnesota right now?
So for me personally, I bring my kids to the mall all the time, and I would not do that if I didn't think this place was safe, and I'm going to continue to do that. But let me be clear. One of our officers was near when this happened. If someone decides that they don't value human life and they choose to pull out a weapon, I don't know what we can do I mean, I know the mall security here and our officers responded in a courageous manner, and they were there within 30 seconds. We've trained for this. We do this. And staff performed the way we trained. But again, if an individual decides that they have no regard for human life, I don't know any defense for that.
Chief Hodges, there was a large police presence out at the Best Western. Was that related to this incident here at the mall?
Yes.
And what capacity?
So that was a location where we believe that they may have fled to, but it turns out that they weren't.
So nobody there now? Chief?
Nobody there now. Yeah.
How many shots fired, Chief? Any idea?
So preliminarily right now, it appears to be 3 shots.
Sorry, Chief, how many?
3.
3, thank you.
Can you say what kind of weapon it was, Chief?
No idea.
Handgun?
It was yes, it was a pistol, handgun.
You mentioned, Chief, that if someone, you said it like if someone had no regard for human life, like what can you do? I think we saw just a month ago in Indiana, there was a shooting at a mall there. Good Samaritan, in a matter of seconds, pulls out his gun and shoots the person shooting at people, but still multiple people died. I get the sense what you're saying is that if someone really did walk in here with intention to hurt people, even 30 seconds couldn't be enough. I would just like you to explain kind of what you meant by that statement you gave just a moment ago.
So it doesn't matter in many respects. What I'm saying is this. If an individual decides that he or she doesn't value human life and decides to commit an act, I don't know what we can do about that. And that's the way I'm going to answer that question.
Is that scary as a law enforcement officer?
We train. Our officers here, I believe, are the best. The mall security officers here are the best at what they do. We train for this.
Chief, this is a place with a lot of cameras, a lot of security. Are there photos of the suspects you'll be sending out soon? Do you have a positive ID right now?
Right now, again, this is an active investigation, and I wish I could reveal more information. But rest assured that our detectives, along with our federal partners, are doing everything we can right now to bring this to resolution.
Chief Hodges, you said juveniles?
I said at this time it appears to be young adults.
How long will the mall remain closed?
That will be a question for the mall folks when they come up here.
Do you have a description of anything they were wearing that is going to find individuals?
We will discuss that at a later junction. Our goal right now, and again, I want to be clear, for those who did this, please turn yourself in. That's the goal, for them to turn themselves in so we can bring this to resolution.
Chief, I know it's early, but any plans to increase security at the mall?
No.
Make changes?
Like I said, right now, one of our officers was there within 30 seconds. And I mean, it's an active investigation, so I'm not going to get into where they were, but they were in close proximity.
No one was hit. What was struck by the shots? Anything?
I'm not sure yet.
Do
Okay.
these folks known to you guys at all? Is anybody in the video?
No, not at this point. So now I'll bring up Dan from the mall, and I'll come back if you have any questions for me. Oh. Okay. So if you have any information, let me give you the right number to call. 952.
You're new.
Yeah, I know. 952-563-4900. 952-563-4900 if you have any information regarding this incident.
Thank you. My name is Dan Jasper, D-A-N-J-A-S-P-E-R. I am a spokesperson for Mall of America. I'd like to begin by saying thank you to Bloomington Police. They are trusted partners of ours. They have been since the day the mall opened, before the mall opened, and to mall security. Bloomington Police, I believe, is the best police department around, and I believe that Mall of America's security department is the most professional, well-trained, dedicated security force around as well. So they keep this place safe. and they take their jobs extremely seriously. People come to the mall every single day to create memories, to have fun, to spend time with their families and their loved ones. And I can't imagine how traumatic an event like this is for them. Our hearts go out to them. We're grateful that due to the quick action of law enforcement and mall security, that nobody was seriously injured today. We will continue to reinforce those efforts to keep all of our visitors safe. The mall will remain closed this evening. We will reopen for business tomorrow. Guests will expect to see an increased presence of both Mall of America security and our partners in law enforcement. If nothing else, our teams take this job so seriously. We will be here in force tomorrow and in the coming days to make sure that everybody who comes to Mall of America has an enjoyable experience. I would just like to say, in the hectic chaos that ensued following tonight's shooting, a lot of guests, first of all, may have been separated from family members. Our teams worked quickly to establish a family reunification site so that those parents who may have been separated from children or friends from friends were able to reunite safely when everything was cleared by Bloomington Police. But also in the hectic atmosphere that occurred, guests may have left a purse or a stroller or other personal items here. Anyone who did that, if they left them in mall common areas, they can come to the mall tomorrow, go to our center guest services desk, or stop at any guest services desk. They'll direct you to the center one, and we will do our best to reunite you with your items. And if anyone has questions, they can also call us as well. If you happen to leave personal items within a store, please contact that store, but we're doing our best to protect those items for you as well. The mall's been open for 30 years, 3 decades. And although this is a tragic event, we have an incredible safety record at Mall of America. It's something that we take great pride in. We look forward to next week as we do celebrate our 30th birthday, and we will make every effort and continue to explore all options to keep our guests safe. And with that, I would welcome any questions that you might have for me.
Dan, are one of those options metal detectors or checking more bags, doing things like that at the doors?
You know, we continue to look at all security options and try to figure out what makes the most sense. In honesty, this is an open building in an open society. Metal detectors aren't common in retail or food retailers or most places that we go. But we have a lot of other security apparatus in place, including highly trained officers, including security cameras throughout Mall of America, including other technology that we use that the guests never see, that we implement to keep them safe. But like we do after any incident, we will continue to explore all options and look at what can we do to do even more. Anything else?
Does the mall have a gun policy? What is the one? What is that?
The mall does have a gun policy. Guns are not allowed on Mall of America property. It's unambiguous.
How quickly after the initial shots were fired did Mall of America enact its lockdown policy, and what did that entail?
Sure. The lockdown policy went into effect almost immediately. As you heard earlier from the chief, it was a Bloomington Police Department officer who was nearby, responded within 30 seconds. That officer is actually the first one who reported that shots were fired. So as soon as we get that report, we go into lockdown. So it was within a minute that we went into lockdown. And then one thing we learned was that we want to regularly update our tenants and our guests. So that message is repeated, and as we get more information, that message was updated to we are searching for the suspects. Then it was updated again to say we are about to clear, we're working to clear the building, and then finally we gave instructions to our guests and tenants how to exit the building. So it's a protocol and a practice, something that we practice all the time, and we've refined it over the last few years as well. So it went into effect almost immediately.
And then we heard from folks outside that people were still, attempting to get into the building, not knowing what was going on, or people were still kind of coming and going in that period of time. Can you address that at all? Just kind of how that exterior security works in a moment like that?
When something like this happens, the immediate goal specifically of law enforcement, but also of our security, is to ensure the safety, right? Get people safe, end the threat, right? We're not able to lock our incoming doors. right? We need to be able to allow people to exit the building. So that's something that what we try to do to eliminate that is we try to get messages over our intercom, on our digital screens, to allow people, if they are coming in, to know that it's time to exit, it's time to shelter in place. So messaging is our key tool to that.
Lastly, I know the two shootings we've seen here at the mall in the last 8 months were both targeted, involving groups, that people that kind of had previous knowledge with one another. But when you watch something like this happen today, your chief talked a moment ago, is there a fear that if someone did come into this mall with reckless abandon and had no regard for anyone who was inside, that you're prepared to handle and respond to a situation like that?
How I would reply would be really similar to how the chief replied. I'm a grandfather. I have 3 grandkids that I love, and they come here all the time. And I feel incredibly safe having them come here all the time, and that will not stop. I have faith. I understand how hard our security department works and trains. I see the work of Bloomington Police Department. If I'm going to be any place, if an incident happens, I want to be here because I know what's in place. With that, we thank you all for coming this evening. Thank you so much.